Welcome back to Brush Up Your Game. Let's talk about Kingpin in Marvel United. Now, Kingpin is trying to win by collecting 6 plan tokens. Well, what are these plan tokens? They're going to get shuffled up and distributed one to each location. And in Kingpin's master plan deck, half of his deck are going to be moved to the next plan token marker and pick it up. Basically, we'll talk about those in a minute. But, it's kind of a race, really. It's Kingpin could, in the worst case scenario, Kingpin could go first 6 cards, pick them all up, and win. Or, best case scenario for the heroes, not pick up the last plan until card 12 in his master plan deck. So there's a trade-off, right? It's kind of that unknown certainty. If you have a way of spying a card, and you can spy a plan card that's gonna, a card that lets him pick up a card and put it on the bottom of the deck, you have assured yourself time. Now, that doesn't mean that's the only way that you're going to win, but you've bought yourself a little bit of time. So, special rules for Kingpin. When a hero is KO'd, he doesn't activate his BAM again, because that would be silly. Instead, he plays another Master Plan card, so he's speeding himself up. He is trying to win faster. Well, and that's because his BAM is simply deal 1 damage to each hero in his location. So if he's knocked everybody out in his location, it doesn't make sense for him to just keep attacking people. Furthermore, on Overflow, every hero in that location takes damage. And that's going to hurt. Kingpin also starts with a lot of health. 6 health for 2 players, 8 health for 3, 11 for 4. It's a lot. It's a lot to chew through. Let's take a look at Kingpin's master plan deck. Like I said, 6 cards where he advances the plan. Place him in the location with the lowest numbered plan token and discard it. Pick it up, basically, is what I was saying. And on each of those, he is dropping thugs. Could be 2 in all, 2 in the adjacent ones, 1 in each, 3 to the left, 2 in each, or 2 where he's adding 1 adjacent. But he's bamming on all 6 of those. Now, his other cards, he only bams on 3 of them. So you do get 3 cards where he's not bamming. But even then, okay, I know I'm hiding it, but the 0, he doesn't drop anything, which is kind of nice. But he's not moving. The 1, okay, he doesn't bam, but he adds 3 thugs. The 2, he bams and drops civilians. 3, he bams and drops civilians. 4, he doesn't bam, drops civilians. And 5, 5. Yeah, he doesn't bam, but he drops a total of 6 civilians and 3 thugs. That will likely trigger Overflow. I mean, unless you have been amazing and clear everything out, he is going to trigger Overflow. So, my recommendations. You got to bring a spy. You got to make sure one of these advanced plan cards ends up near the bottom of the deck. That's kind of the only way. Or, bring a character like Doctor Strange and just completely remove it from the game. That would be something. Bottom of the deck's still better, but beyond that, try to not die, because getting knocked out is going to speed Kingpin up, and you do not want to speed Kingpin up because you will lose. He will drop even more stuff, more civilians and thugs, which will trigger Overflow, which will likely knock characters out, which will let him play another master plan card, and etc. It's a self-fulfilling cycle. He basically has, I'd say the 5 is going to speed him up, but 2 of his advance the plans, where he's dropping a total of 6 thugs, those are also meant to trigger overflow. So, yeah, there's a little bit of predictability in his movement, because you know where these lowest plans are. You see them. You see the numbers. So you know he's going to go pick up 1 and then go pick up 2 and then 3. So you know a bit of that movement. And you can track where the rest of his movement is. You know he has a 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You know those are the 6 cards. So you can kind of predict where he's going to go. You don't know it entirely, but you do know a bit of it. And I think that helps you. Kingpin, I would say, is a villain where you need to be good at tracking what you've seen. And you don't even have to know it all. It's all face up. You can look. But you have to kind of know that this deck exists for him. Now, his threats. This, I'd say, is really how we got to tackle him. Because so far we've only talked theoretically. His threats. He has 2 copies of Secrets. As long as this threat is in play, any rescued civilians are discarded instead of being placed on the mission card. Those are kind of okay. You're going to just let them exist because you don't have enough heroics to finish off everything else and rescue the very few civilians that get added to the game board. There's 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. There's 17 total civilians that get dropped on a grand total of 4 cards. And that's if those aren't lost to overflow. You can't bank on those. You're going to bank to thugs. So we have to worry about connections. As long as this threat's in play, any defeated thugs are discarded instead of being placed on the mission card. You got to get rid of those. You got to clear those off. And worse, we got this corrupted elite thugs over here. Any civilians in this location, any civilian, singular, is immediately turned into a thug. Each thug in this location requires 2 damage to be defeated. Now, you could leave that alone. I wouldn't. But, yeah, you could leave it alone. I'd get rid of that. So I'm getting rid of connections and the corrupted elite thugs, and then I'm trying to tackle Bullseye. And because Bullseye is 5 health and says bam on every bam, right? 9 out of 12 cards. Deal 1 damage to each hero in this location and both adjacent ones. That's half the map. Discard 1 civilian from each of these locations without heroes. You don't have time to rescue the heroes. The civilians. Sorry, the civilians. You don't have the time. They're going to disappear. You got to worry about clearing these threats, connections, corrupted elite thugs, Bullseye. And then you got to worry about taking out thugs. And you got to take out connections before you take out the thugs. It's that simple. And yeah, some of that's going to come down to luck in terms of where those exist, where you start, where Kingpin starts, where he moves, all of that. I get it. There's luck in this game. It exists. You can't minimize it all. So what do you need? You got to bring characters that have heroics so that you can clear these threats. And you got to bring characters that have punches. And you got to bring some characters that have movement. You got to bring a balance setup. You can't bring specialists. Bringing a Thor, a Korg, a Beta Ray Bill, that's great. They'll kill a lot of thugs. But that's not going to help you because you don't have the heroics to clear these threats and rescue everybody. Yeah, Kingpin is about balance. And if you've watched Daredevil or other shows, you have seen Kingpin in action. And Kingpin will go after your weak spot. And it just always seems in this game that if you are trying only to take out thugs, he will drop all these civilians. And he'll go 5 rounds in a row and drop nothing but civilians. And you'll go, David, why in the world did I listen to your stupid advice? And I'll go, yeah, you know what? I'm sorry. That's a bad luck shuffle. It happens every once in a while. But more often than not, if you go for the plan, take out connections, bullseye, corrupted elite thugs, take those connections out first, you will be able to take out Kingpin. But you got to save your punches too. You got to have enough punches. I would highly recommend bringing in like a Stark Labs where you can trade out cards. You got to play with the wilds, and you got to just hope. You got to hope that you got enough cards in the end to make it work. And I would highly recommend bring Spider-Man. He is there. He generates tokens, and he will save your butt in this situation. Okay. Hey, that's it for me. Thank you all for watching. Until next time, keep brushing up your game. Take care, everybody. And good luck hunting Kingpin. He does not stay down for long.